Welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. This is episode number 70. Today is August 17th, 2020, and we're going to take a look at Big Girls number 1. This is an Image comic, $3.99, and it's put out by written and drawn by Jason Howard. Now, I'm actually reading this. I was not going to get this comic, and in fact, I had done a Diamond previews about this, and I kind of did a pre-roast, kind of like preheating the oven, if you will, about this one, because I thought this was not a good title, and I still don't think it's a very good title. It really doesn't take into account everything in this story about big girls fighting big monsters. It turns out there's a lot more to this, and it's quite good. I actually listened to Comics Matters today. He reviewed it as well. He thought he was going to be roasting it, and then he gave the challenge to everybody to go out and buy it. It's a good comic. He recommended it. I'm recommending it too. It is really surprisingly good, despite the title. It looks like it's going to be this exercise in wokeness. Steers far clear of wokeness, at least to the beginning. I hope they keep on this track, because it's taking on a lot of human elements that that you don't see in comics too much. A lot of hard decisions, a lot of depth. These characters, they're not just my side, your side type thing. There's a lot going on. So just take a quick look. This is by Jason Howard. I'm not familiar with him. And right off, he did the story and art. The lettering is by Phonographics. If I got that right, Phonographics. All right, get my magnifier out of the way. Okay. So basically, what we've got here is kind of a dystopian future where we've got civilization holding on. They call it outside the preserve. It's kind of a wasteland, and there's a preserve inside where the humans are living, and they're being attacked from the outside by these giant monsters, which are at one time men, or rather males, I should say. They start off as pretty tame kids, but they grow at an alarming rate, and they appear to be pretty docile until they hit a certain age. And then they mutate further into full-on monsters where they don't resemble men at all. So to counterpoint these, they have, I'm not sure how, they haven't gone into any detail on it yet, but they have giant women to fight these. Okay, so we'll take a look at it. And this is Ember here. Now, I'm not crazy about the art in this. It's good. It's better than I can draw, obviously. I like the detail and all this in the backgrounds, but the people and faces, I'm not too crazy about the way they look. And at times I can't tell if it's a man or a woman. Like, you take a look over here, these people getting killed by one of the giant monsters. There's no real way to tell. But the backgrounds have these amazing details in it, and the coloring is okay. I'm okay with the coloring as well. That was Jason worked on that as well. But just really kind of neat little things laid in here. Register your pregnancy, help keep the barrier strong. And they have this barrier that's very penetrable, apparently, because these monsters are just so big they kind of just step over it. But they have guard shacks all the way around to give early warnings and send out these, what they call the big girls. So this is, I can't remember, he's High Marshal, I want to say Peters, but I'm not sure if that's his name or not. Cannot recall his name. But he's on a stakeout because they're trying to find hidden boys that have been infected. They're not sure how it's happening. There's a bunch of scientific jargon that's in here it's hard to understand, and I think you're just kind of supposed to read over it. They really don't know why these boys are mutating into these gigantic monsters, but it happens at a very early age. So it begins out, High Marshal, let's see, gives his name here, High Marshal James, that's what his name is, High Marshal James. And he's got the unenviable task of tracking down people that might be harboring these boys. You know, they're their own kids. They don't want them to see them taken away or killed off or anything. And so they track down this guy. He's become suspicious because he's just shopping for groceries all day long. And you can see here, and here's this kid. He's giant already. He's like 4 years old. And at first he looks like a normal, just a huge kid. But if you look more closely, you start seeing boils on his arm. His one arm actually has developed a claw, but he's just a happy kid. I mean, basically. So unfortunately, they're like, we're going to have to take him in. The father tells the kid to make a break for it, basically. And the kid just becomes, he's playing, but he's just killing these guys easily because he's just so much larger than they are. You can see he's stepping on this kid, squishing him. And you can see the guy's totally, a couple dead guys there, while High Marshal James has got Martin under control here. Martin's the father, and he's going to be an important part without the story. Now, the artist and writer has already got the next 6 issues complete. So this is just the first. So they'll be coming out. He says he's working on the 7th issue now, or right around there. So he's making good progress, and this is a pretty exciting story. So the kid bursts out of the building. He's called for backup already, and Ember's on her way, and she catches him. But what happens next, I don't want to really give it away. Let's just say it's not real good. And what has happened has bothered Ember as well. So she's kind of goes off to contemplate, and you can see in scale how large she is compared to the buildings around her. She's gigantic. And you can see the detail he's putting into this city. It's just really, really nice. This is the Cube. That's where the headquarters of the, pretty much the government, trying to keep everything under control, what they call the preserve, keeping the giant monsters out. They can see they're guiding her in like she's an aircraft, like a 747, so she doesn't crush anything, and she goes into the hangar there. So anyway, this is High Marshal Peters again, and you can see here, you see that he really, grieves over what his task is, what his job is. He's collecting these photos, and he's contemplating, what he has to do. And I believe he lost somebody too. I can't really recall exactly, but I believe he has lost somebody. Now, here's one of those cases where you don't know if that's a man or a woman. It's hard to tell, unfortunately. But he's one of the scientists that helps with they call the big girls. There's Ember, and there's somebody called Apex. I think that'll show up in the next issue. So they have these super large areas. So the High Marshal goes to talk to Ember, just to talk to her. They kind of argue a little bit about what's going on. In the meantime, a guard is stabbed. It took me a while to figure it out, what was going on, but this is actually in one of the watchtowers. The guard is taken out, and this woman here appears to be directing the monster's direction, which way to go. So anyway, the alarm is set off, and while the monster is rampaging through, Ember is set out because she's the closest to take on this monster. Now, going back, there was a little thing that kind of bothered me, and I'm assuming it's an artist's mistake, but you see this, it is a woman here, the low back. She's pretty big sized, but you go to the next page where this guard regains consciousness and sounds the alarm. There's no cut back here. It looks like a man in a suit, and just the size of the body isn't as big either. As I take another look, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Why that? Because the writer and the artist are the same. So I don't know if he just didn't think about it or forgot to put in the backless shirt or what, the backless outfit. But anyway, we go ahead and attack. I mean, that's like a minor thing. I mean, compared to this thing is really fun and really good and really thought-provoking too. Like, how would you react in something like this? So this monster's on the rampage, and look at this. This is so cool. She's running across the building tops as this monster's looking the other way and does one of these nice, I don't know what you would call it, just flying, shooting pose. As you can see, the facial drawings, they're okay, but it fits the scene, I guess. But yeah, it's a little blocky, I guess, is what I'm thinking of. So this is a real struggle that goes on. She's got to outwit it, and they say these monsters are very dumb. They're very strong and very quick, but they're dumb. So she's able to, what she thinks is take it down. But she, when it's time to really put it down for good, she kind of has a quick flashback, and she doesn't do it, and to her detriment, the monster regains its composure and starts attacking, and it turns out there are now at least, let's say, 3 monsters around her now. So things aren't going good. Then we come back to the main villainess. It's a white woman, believe it or not. So it's not a white male this time. So this is Martin, the guy that had the huge son before, and so now these two are working together. And just say that there's more to come, and I don't want to give any more away than that these two are connected. Her name's Joanna, but she's asked to be called Gulliver. Now, if you remember Gulliver's Travels, they had like the giant in it. Gulliver became the giant. So I'm thinking this is maybe that's like kind of a little tie-in or a homage to the Gulliver Tales. But very, very good book. And then I don't want to give you too much away here. Just a nice little note from the artist. And here's the next. Look how cool that looks. That looks like a nice cover. So I'm really excited about this one. This is a total recommend. Comics Matters was completely right. Thank you. My boy, Zach, you nailed this one. It's so awesome. So it's good to see a great comic come out, especially one that we had no idea was coming. And this is just the big thing here. Now, see, if you look at stuff like this, you think it might be some kind of woke thing, but it really isn't. It's just kind of fun, thought-provoking, exciting, unexpected, unpredictable, just a good, solid comic. Highly recommend. So go out and check it out if you will. I'm thinking that could be a huge comic in the future. So maybe these first issues are going to go up in price if you are a collector, because there really wasn't a lot of anything said about this one, and partly probably because it's not done by anybody that appears to be in the group that gets all the publicity now. So Jason Howard, good job. Keep up the good work. I'm assuming your artistic endeavor will get even better with each issue, because this was really good, and I think that's the only thing that I have a problem with is the faces could be a little bit better and just a little less blocky, and I think that could come with time. If you keep drawing this and get the characters down super well, you get a little more loose with them. So anyway, this is Indie Comics Jones. Please subscribe, please like, please comment. I need that. Let me know what you think about this. If you've read it, let me know if you liked it. I really liked it. And we'll see you next time. I got a few more comics to do this week. And I'll be taking next week off. I'm going to California, so I won't be here, but I'll try to have enough. There's enough videos out there, if you haven't seen my other ones, to keep you busy for a while. So, like I said, we'll see you next time. So take care. Highly recommend Big Girls. Yes, Big Girls. They don't cry. Take care.